Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to do another retro recipe from the 50s and 60s. I'm going to make chicken a la king. My grandma Jean used to make this all the time. She served it over either rice or buttered noodles. I'm going to change it up a little bit and I'm going to do it over buttermilk biscuits because I prefer buttermilk biscuits over the other, just the southern in me. So I've already done my biscuits over here. I'll put a link down below. I've done a recipe on them. So since they're not the main recipe, I didn't show you how I put them together, but I gotta get them all cut out here and in the oven because they're gonna take about the same amount of time to bake as it's gonna be to make the chicken a la king. Now when you are making biscuits, always keep a little flour beside here because you're gonna need that to make sure the biscuits don't stick to your biscuit cutter. And the closer you have your biscuits together, the higher they're gonna rise, because they don't have room to spread out. I'm not making a mess of my biscuits already. A couple more out of here. Whoops, that one's not going anywhere. I didn't flour. And then just take the scraps, put them back together. And usually you get a big biscuit out of this. Some people call it, and I do, a cat's head biscuit, which is usually just the scraps. I'm gonna squeeze one more in there because I don't want to waste all this. All right, let me put this over here. And I'm gonna wash my hands up. Now, like I said, we're gonna do chicken a la king. You can do it different ways. If you wanna boil your chicken breast, get it prepared that way. Some people will do a rotisserie chicken, which is real convenient. If you are working, you just grab one on the way home. I'm gonna put my wet cloth down. Always put a wet cloth down underneath your cutting board so it sticks in place. And we have a pan. And we'll do it over here so you guys get a better look at it. I'm gonna go ahead and start heating up my pan. Just gonna use a tablespoon or two of olive oil in there. And I usually dice my chicken up in about 1-inch squares. Just makes it, they all cook more evenly and you don't have some that are done and some that aren't. These all in, we're gonna cook them first. And I've got a whole mess of ingredients here. I've got chicken stock, milk, heavy cream, frozen peas since I don't have any fresh peas right now. We have about 2 cups of mushrooms, some flour to thicken it, red pepper, small onion, whole mess of spices here. I'm gonna put it all down below so you guys, you don't wanna have to write it down now. It'll all be down below and then there'll be a link to my website where you can print it out yourself. So let me get this all out. Anytime you're cooking, I always like to season everything as we go. So just season your chicken with salt and pepper. If you want some garlic powder on it, I've got garlic powder going in the sauce, so I'm not gonna put any extra here. And then we're gonna get that in the pan. We're gonna get this started browning. I guess I didn't get that one cut good. And always be careful when you're using chicken. You want to make sure you got a clean hand, a dirty hand. Keep everything out of the way because you don't want to cross-contaminate salmonella. Lift my hands up right here. All right, now let's get the other ingredients together here. I'm going to need the onion and the pepper, and the mushrooms are going to go in next. I like to do my onions in, I call them half-moon strips. And I'm using just a medium to small onion. There we go. Get this all spread out so we got even cooking surface here. Now this is one of those recipes from, like I said, back in the 50s and 60s that all the housewives used to do. I've added some things, changed it up a little bit to make it, you know, a little bit more modern flavors, just from what I like. Get that down there. Oops. Thought I was going to do that without all the seeds, but it got me. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the peppers. I'm just going to do them in strips. And if you cut your pepper with the waxy side down, you're not going to have the problem with your knife slipping. It's easier just to go through it this way. Cut out any of this white membrane, because that's not good taste. And you can cut these, dice them however you like, however you prefer, in whatever size you want. You can even leave this out. Some people put in peppers, some people put in tomatoes. I put in both, because I like the different flavors and textures on it. Okay, so I got my red pepper. You can use a green pepper. I just had a red pepper, so that's what I'm using. My peppers and onions all ready here. I'm going to give them a little bit more salt and pepper. Maybe heavy on pepper. I like pepper. I'll be right back as soon as the chicken is all browned up. Okay, so I've got the chicken browned off, cooked through. I broke a couple pieces in two just to make sure they're cooked through. We're going to cook a little bit more in the sauce, so we can safely take that out now. We're just going to move the chicken over to a pan or a plate. Now you guys can probably hear me better without that chicken frying away over here. And all these little goodies down here in the bottom, we're going to be getting those out. So we set the chicken back here out of the way. I'm going to now add about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm throwing everything around. Get that melted. I've turned the heat down to about a medium because I don't want to burn this butter. If you want to keep the butter from burning, one thing you do is put a little olive oil or canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever you have in there, and that'll keep it from burning as easily. All right, so now I'm going to put in our mushrooms. We're just going to cook those until they've shrunk down and turned a little bit brown. They're full of water, so that's what's going to be cooking out of them. We're just going to caramelize them a little bit. And then we're going to, into the heavy cream, I'm going to put our 2 egg yolks. I'm going to mix them together while we're here. One of them already broke open. So I use heavy cream in mine. Some people use just chicken stock. Some people use milk. Some people use milk and chicken stock. I think the heavy cream and the egg just give it a richer flavor. So just mix that together there. And stir around a little bit. Throw some salt on them to help pull out some of that moisture. Like I said, always season every layer of your cooking. You want to get the flavors throughout, not just at the very end in the sauce or at the very beginning on your protein. All right. Now I'm going to add in my onion and my pepper. Let them all cook together here. And the moisture coming out of the peppers, onions, and the mushrooms is going to help bring up some of that fond on the bottom. But we'll deglaze it here too with our chicken stock. Okay, the vegetables are softened up. I'm going to add in our flour. Bring that all together. Now the flour is we want to cook it for a minute or two. We want to get the floury taste out. This is what's going to thicken our sauce up for us. And to get that cooking just a little faster, we're going to steam it with a little bit of the chicken stock. That's going to soften up the vegetables and the mushrooms, so they cook a little quicker. I think I got my egg all mixed in there. Yes, I do. Like I said, this is just one of those retro recipes that I found this in my grandmother's cookbook, or my grandmother's recipe box, not her cookbook. She didn't have one. She could have had one. The woman, my mom used to say she could make soup out of an old boot and make it taste good. She could cook like nobody's business. She had 6 boys, lived on a farm. She made 3 meals a day, and dinner always had a dessert at the end of it. I don't know how she did it. Shoestring budget, but she managed it. Crank that up, get some more heat under there. Sorry, it's smelling delicious. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in my pimentos. I just have a full jar. It's a 7-ounce jar of diced pimentos. And I did drain that, so there's not the moisture, just the dried, or the pimentos. And while I've got the cutting board, I'm gonna just chop up some parsley that we're gonna use at the end to make it look pretty. So everything's prepared. As you can see, I've done this together so quick. You can make this when you get home from work. You make it on the weekend. It's not hard. It looked like I had a whole bunch of ingredients here, a whole mess of it, but you know what? That really wasn't. Get a little bowl for that. All right, let's see how the vegetables are going over here. Yeah, now they're softened up. Okay, so we got all that. Now I'm going to add in the rest of the chicken stock. And I didn't have fresh chicken stock, so I just used water and the Better Than Bouillon base. I find that tastes great when I don't have any chicken stock on hand. Now I'm going to put in all of our herbs, or all of our spices. I got salt, pepper, ground garlic powder, some thyme, and some ground mustard, and 1 bay leaf. We'll remember to take that out when we get ready to eat. I'm going to also put in, I've got, I believe, I got oregano all over my fingers. Got 1.5 cups of milk. We're going to add that in. Let that start coming together. And now we're just going to leave this. I've got it about medium. I want it to start simmering and start thickening all the sauce there and the flour. But I also need to add in my eggs and heavy cream. Now we're not going to pour this in. If we do, we could have scrambled eggs. So we need to just temper this a little bit with the warm liquid. And just bring up the temperature so it's not shocked and scrambled. Scrambled eggs would not be good in this. There we go. That should be good for us. All right. I'm going to crank up the heat just a little bit so it'll start thickening. I'm going to add in our frozen peas. Okay. And I'm going to add back in our chicken. Make sure when you add in the chicken, I got water here, that you add in all the drippings that have come off that chicken because that's flavor. You don't want to lose any of that. And remember, the chicken's already cooked pretty much, so it's just gonna sit in here and absorb some more of the flavors. And we'll get heated back up. All right, we'll let that come to a boil. I'm gonna clean up a little bit here, get everything out of the way. There's our parsley for later. And every time I use this pan, a number of you never fail, ask me where I got it, what it is. It's called Bonjour. I actually found it at Tuesday Morning. That's I'm not sure what to call it, an overstock store. And they're not real cheap. I think this one was $250. I've got the whole set. I love cooking with them. They're heavy base. So everything cooks real well on them. It was actually, I bought a few of them and then my grandmother went over and said, you need some more. She kept egging me on. She was right, I needed more. So I ended up getting the whole set. So I don't think they make them anymore. You can find them on eBay every so often. It's Bonjour Ironclad. They do have a copper clad. I haven't got that, but the ironclad's what I have. It works real well. Okay, this is thickened up pretty good. I'm gonna taste it just to see if we need to spice it up, add in more seasoning. And our biscuits sound like they're ready. They are. Let's stick those biscuits right here so y'all can look at them. And I think our chicken a la king is done. Turn off the fire there. I told you, they come together just about the same time. Now I always check my biscuit. I just get the middle one and I pull up a little bit and it's cooked through. And this is my great grandma, Bessie Potter. I call her Mama. This is her skillet. I use it only for cornbread and biscuits. And as you notice, let me see if I can do this here without burning myself. Biscuits slide right out. And all you have to do is clean this out with a paper towel. This pan's over 100 years old. Nothing sticks to it. My cornbread, my biscuits, as you've seen, everything just falls right out. And there's Grandma's pan, ready for the next batch. All right. So this is all done. I'm going to switch and put this pan over here out of the way so I don't burn myself. Everything's off. And like I said, the parsley you don't have to do. I just like it. It has a little color to it. And I'll save a little bit for the plate too. Because you know we got to have a picture for the website. So there we go. Get a close up there of the chicken a la king. I'm going to actually dish it up and give it a taste. Actually, I need a biscuit. Just gonna take this big one right here. I can smell the buttermilk. Smells delicious. Put that down in there. You can still see the steam coming off that. And I'm just gonna get the ladle. Just ladle this right over the biscuit. A little more garnish on there. And my biscuit. And there, my friends, is my chicken a la king. It's amped up a little bit from Grandma Jean's, but hey, it's delicious. So let me give it a try here. All that steam coming off, it's gonna be a face burner, I can already tell. Need to get a little bit of biscuit too. So let's get some biscuit. And some chicken. It's delicious. It's almost like a chicken pot pie, or I think you saw my recipe where I had the chicken or the biscuits baked on top of the chicken sauce. It is delicious. It's quick and easy to come together. You can change the vegetables up all you want. You don't have to put the peas in there. Onions, peppers, whatever you like, you can add it in and take out what you want. But this is my chicken a la king. Give it a try. Thanks again for stopping by my kitchen. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.